science is based in looking at the truth. Okay, so the truth is what? Well, we need to stay going in general, and I'll say the truth is the same for everybody. If you're in your, if you've opened an account with reality, then that's the truth. That the truth is the same for everybody. That's what's cool about this plane. If you're watching this, you can't get out of it now. You know, you're either making yourself available to just a simple experience, or like I suggest with the opening the account with reality or not, you have failed to look into it with your own senses, right? There's a lot of talk about that, especially along the lines of the spiritual Buddhists, I guess, who they kind of deny their senses after a while. And I say, and some other Buddhists would say, that really you should think about going through it, getting heavily into it. Then you qualify to kind of drop it, and maybe you hold it as just a memory if it's worth it, right? There's the task. What are you holding on to in your mind? But well, as a Mars ruled person, I'm going through the Mars opposed Pluto pretty intensely, and in one of my videos I mentioned that the Scorpio planet was going to square Uranus, and it's not a square, it's an opposition. So we have these oppositions going on, and oppositions are pretty darn interesting here. I might not be making very many videos after a week or two here, coming into a time of my life where, well, it's feeling pretty interesting. I love my life. You know, I need to try to cultivate a better quality surroundings as far as the people, right? The ecological feed, or whatever you want to call it, garden that I surround myself with, which is none. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, wow, I have to move, and that's what, like, it feels like, you know, it could, you know, like you could find yourself in a relationship that you don't like that feels the same way, where it's like, I got to get out of this. It's just simply, there's nothing there for me anymore. It's not even communicating, right? Well, this place where I live, which is, I don't know, I could try to stir it up, and I have in a very natural way, just communicating to some people that were moving in, so-called new people, but it was just very much in, designated to my microclimate, you know, me in the neighborhood. And I don't know, I don't know, it's just been this long. And I think, I know how it is. It's just people talk more, which is getting back to the subject matter of like, well, did you open an account with reality yet? Because talk isn't really a reflection of what's happening in reality as far as the truth is concerned, unless it's talking about, unless we're looking at the truth about talking, and that's one of them, is that you can't have an experience of somebody through talk unless they're a storyteller, and that's the whole point of them showing up in your life, is that you like the way that they talk. I don't know, but still, that's a whole other information field that is a fault. It's pointing at the fact of false information field. If you ask me, you know, the way that they do stamp it on us without our acknowledgement, or like even being aware that any of that's happening for us, is apparent, and it's a form of institutionalization, and won't it drive you crazy after a while Because what if you have moments of being free of all of that supposed identity and running for what and stuff like this, and you start to experience your true and real life creative life. And so that's where I've just spliced it in. I've cut out a lot of the other video. Right? I would like to find what I need as far as the kind of people that we can find ourselves kind of surrounding ourselves with. See, that's where I'm getting back to. Maybe I talked about it in the beginning here. It's about alignment, vibrational alignment. And there's something about me, I'm sure, that doesn't care for the world at all. I kind of see through a lot of it, and I can see that it's like, you know what, Maya, that's what they call it, right? It's Maya. It's a trap. It's a trap. And that's the thing about it. It's like, well, that's what's not interesting about it. That's just, it's like, I, we don't want, it's, that trap is called entanglement. I think we should stay in our creative mode of being, and if we are going to get into the trap, like I've been thinking recently, and I know this is weird, but the trap that I want to get into, ah, I hate to say it, but here we are. You know, we have a skeleton, you have skeleton, I have teeth, you have teeth, maybe. But yes, I want to make a pumpkin pie, and I have to remember to pre-cook the crust so that so when I pour it in there, it'll cook the rest of the way and be kind of crispy and good. Yeah, plenty of butter, maybe add graham cracker, and yeah, who doesn't like a pumpkin pie? But for sure, get the whipping cream. Use whipping cream, right? Who doesn't like whipping cream with it? I find it's a must. I will not eat pumpkin pie without whipped cream. Uh, so that's how bad I'm doing. Thanks for listening to all this. I can't believe it turned off. I'll let you go now. Happy November. I'm going through major, you can say it's upset, but it's transformation. But see, getting back to, hopefully we can align ourselves to the things that bring us joy more. You know, that's important, to maintain a higher vibrational frequency than grief and, you know, like, disgruntled. See, so the problem with me being in a place where I'm thinking that it matters how the people are here for me, yeah, it's like, well, what are you expecting? I mean, really, it's not really boasting itself as being a city, but it is a city because it has a post office and school and all this stuff, and so it's kind of like a mind your own business institution there. It's like, did you find your niche? And uh, I'm slowly being torn down and I guess trying to reconstruct. And I don't like the way I sound, not even on Facebook nowadays for sure. It's pathetic as hell. It's like I have a problem and a half, and perhaps I do. You know, if I'm still stuck here on Facebook thinking that it would work for me, because I just got my PayPal and Cash App. See, I'm just sounding like a freaking broken record now, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like thinking sorry about that, and because I find it a very lower vibrational frequency to be scrounging around like that. I like to talk about higher-minded things, and if it's to happen for me, it should. You know what I mean? I'm afraid that I'm falling succumb to the enemy in a kind of very real way. See, so we have to keep an eye on each other. That's why I'm kind of staying here